Hi guys, welcome back to the channel today. I hope everyone is having an awesome day. That being said, we are going to discuss Bethesda Game Studios today and what's been going on at this studio. There's been some media releases from Todd Howard and Emil. We'll go over those in the video and we'll get a little idea of what's going on in the minds of the big shots at Bethesda and where I think the studio's going and kind of how they've fallen off the rails in the past few years and really lost touch with their main core audience. And that being said, let's get right into the video. Man, quit re-releasing this game and make a new one. I know the game's awesome, but still, get some fresh ideas here. Alright guys, we're going to jump into this little blurb from Todd Howard here, and it is an article from Game Informer. I will say first, looking at 76, we've never stopped developing Fallout. We've had a full team on Fallout for a long time, so Fallout as a franchise is the one we're still doing the most work in above anything. Now, the majority of our internal studio is on Elder Scrolls 6. We are doing other things with Fallout that we haven't announced, and you know, there'll come a time for that. I get the sort of anxiety from fans like, well, what else, feed me. But look, we're working on stuff, and we do like to wait, and so I think there'll be a moment to talk about that. And we want to make those special moments for our fans. Okay guys, now this really rubs me the wrong way. Now, if I'm Todd Howard, I'm going to choose my words carefully. People have been waiting, so long for the Elder Scrolls and a new Fallout game, and then to him come out and say, basically, that we're little kids and we're crying for him, the adult in the room, to feed us. And yeah, I don't know, there was just something about that statement that really pissed me off. And I have been a fan of Todd and the studios for a long time now. In recent years, I've been getting a little annoyed with them. But still, don't treat us like little children because we want a glimpse at what you're working at on your product. Now, instead of saying stuff like this, Todd literally could have given us a little bit of an update on the Elder Scrolls 6 or the next Fallout installment instead of just regurgitating the same stuff that they've said over and over. Me personally, I would just like to see even a mini trailer of the new Elder Scrolls 6 or something. Guys, if you follow Skywind, Skyblivion, all these sort of offshoots of the main game that are being worked on by modders, they will throw out some trailers, some walkthroughs, some little tidbits of what's going on and what they're doing. This would be so good of Bethesda just to throw something out there. They could throw a little teaser out like, oh my god, they've literally put nothing out. Anyways, Todd seems like a really big asshole here, guys, and I'm usually not one to, degrade someone or anything like that, but I really think he missed the mark on this, and it's really starting to show how out of touch the studio and Todd himself have become after years and years of success that they've had here. Now, Game Informer also did an interview with Angela Browder here, and she's one of the leads at Bethesda, studio director, but blah, blah, blah. I think every one of our past games is a learning experience, right? Let's take Fallout 76. Yes, we learned how to make multiplayer. We also learned what it means when you ship a product that doesn't necessarily hit really well right away. And we learned about investing and listening to our players and strengthening who we are and what we are. Our own ability to resiliency and adversity, all these kind of things, right? When you talk about Starfield, we made the biggest thing we've ever done in our entire lives. We made space. I'm scared of space. I think space is really scary, but we made space. All of those are, while it may not be like, oh, I'm going to put space in Elder Scrolls 6, do not write that I'm putting space in Elder Scrolls 6. Laughs. We're not going to put space in Elder Scrolls 6. Everything that we learned by putting space into Starfield goes into Elder Scrolls 6. It's all learning. Now, I'm not going to read the rest of the article, guys. It's basically just lip service here. Again, they're talking about Starfield, and they still seem genuinely excited about Starfield. And, kudos to them. They made it. It's a huge project. And don't get me wrong, Starfield is a big game. It's not horrible. It's just mediocre for a Bethesda game, in my opinion. Again, I'm going to go back, play Starfield. I'm going to do another review on it down the road, maybe after I actually complete the entire game. Again, I did have fun with it. I just got a little bit bored with it, and then The Outer Worlds 2 kind of took my attention span away from it, and I was playing a little Call of Duty and stuff too. I'll get back to it, and I'll let you guys know how it works out. Now, we will save the worst for last. This is Emil. He's been the studio leader for a long time at Bethesda. Made some awesome games, made some stinkers. Again, this guy seems very out of touch. Let's see what he has to say. I would be happy with a game that is as successful as the previous Fallout games, that continues to give fans what they love, and to give them the story that they can get into and systems that they love, and really just an experience that they play for not 20 hours and not for 100 hours, but an experience they can play for 200, 300, 600 hours, because that's the kind of games we make. That would be my hope going forward. Keep doing what we've done and also evolve. And evolve in a way that is where the industry has gone and where players have gone. So you're not stuck in the past. Like in the Oblivion remaster that came out, people forget in the original Oblivion you couldn't sprint. So of course you're going to add that in the Oblivion remaster. Things like that, the industry moved on, and so we want to move on with it. Now, I'm not going to bag on Emil, guys. It is what it is. The problem with all these guys that have been doing this for so long, they just kind of lose touch with reality, I'm going to say. And it's not a dig against them. They're doing their best. They're doing their jobs. I get it. But at a certain point, I think maybe some outside consultation, or maybe even talk to the guys from like Sky Oblivion, bring them in to help out, stuff like that. There's a bunch of different things they could do to get an outside perspective on these games, and, kind of grow with the audience and make them a much more fleshed out experience than Starfield was. Starfield is very bared. It's very stark. The game mechanics are okay. But they did miss the mark on a lot of things. That's just my opinion. Again, Starfield's not a horrible game, guys. Don't believe everyone saying that it is. It's a good game. It's just not great. And we can look at some of the failures in the recent years, guys. Like Fallout 4 comes out. It's a decent game. And again, it's not great. It's a good game. Has lots of mod support that has made the game great. And then, 18 months, they come out. They put out some new stuff for it. Crashes the game, wrecks a lot of the mods. And then they take, a year to fucking work on that, fix it again. And what do? The exact same thing with the money grab that is the Anniversary Edition. They put this out. It broke a bunch of mods. It broke some of the mods in my game. So you're basically starting over again. And all they did this for was to get more paid mods in there to make more money and sell the Anniversary Edition. That's all they did it for, guys. They really need to get out of making these games over and over and over again. Yes, Skyrim is successful, Fallout 4 is successful, but at some point, it's like, focus on something new for the fans, and if you want to monetize it down the road, which you're going to anyways, then do that. But just make something new, man. That's all we're asking as fans here. Now, if you are a Nintendo Switch 2 owner, I personally would not get this game on the Switch 2. Apparently, the latency is around 300 milliseconds, very high. Skyrim on the original Switch, you're looking at 200. It's not horrible, not great. Again, they pump these games out so much, they just want that money. They don't plan long-term for these. I'm sure that game for the Switch 2 probably has way more bugs in it than I'm aware of. If you are a Switch 2 owner and you have this game and you have an experience with it, let me know in the comments below if it's crappy or not. Again, we have a couple Switch ones. I would not be opposed to getting Skyrim for those if I can find it at a flea market or at a yard sale or something. Pick it up for 10 or 20 bucks maybe. I'm not going to pay full price for it. Definitely wouldn't get it on the Switch 2. And I would recommend that you probably not do that as well, guys. Given Bethesda's track record with patches and stuff and how long it takes them to actually fix the problems they initially make, it could be another year or two before they get this sorted out on the Switch 2. No bueno. The problem with some of these games that take a super long development cycle. You saw it with Concord, Splitgate 2 kinda. There's a ton of these games that took a long time to make. They come out and then they just bomb because the audience has moved on. Now in this case with the Elder Scrolls Fallout, as the audience moved on, no. they will still buy the game. But the problem is that what you thought was interesting and neat, 5-10 years ago, may not necessarily translate into what the fans are looking for nowadays. Times have changed quite a bit in the past decade, guys. You know yourself, if a game comes out but it catered to a certain style and what was going on in the world at that time, and then fast forward, we're 10 years later, things are different. And yeah, this cost Sony a lot of money. It's costing the Splitgate guys lots of money. I'm sure they crowdfunded the hell out of Splitgate too, and it's still bombed. Again, sometimes these games just don't hold up. Will that be the case in this one? Probably not, but it may not be as good as it could be just because they're taking so long with it. Who knows, guys? Let's talk about the Fallout show here, guys. Now, again, this show is hugely popular. I personally like the show. If you don't, that's cool too. I know a lot of people bag on it. Me personally, when I go into a show like made for a video game or like a Marvel movie or anything like that, you have to take it for what it is. It's probably not going to be the best acting. It's not going to be the best effects or anything like this. It's just going to be what it is. If you take it for what it is and you don't have super high expectations, a lot of the times you won't be let down by this. But the Fallout show, I personally enjoyed it. It was kind of like going back in time and playing Fallout again. I thought it was pretty fun. They did pretty good writing on the first season. Now, the second season, they're going to Vegas. I have not watched any of the second season. Don't spoil it for me. I want to wait until the season is done, and then we're probably going to binge watch, all the episodes. I think there's only 8 or 10 episodes. So to me, it's kind of like watching 2 or 3 movies or something. You watch 2 or 3 at a time, and you watch it over a couple of days, and you're done with it. Now, where could the show go for number 3? Really hard to say, guys. I have no idea. Will they go to Fallout 4? Will they go somewhere completely different? There's so many places they could take this. There's so many interesting cities in the United States that this could take place in. I don't think they'll deviate from the continental United States. I think it'll just stay there. Could they go up to Alaska? Yeah, you never know. Me personally, I'm looking forward to the 3rd season. I'm looking forward to watching the 2nd season. And I have a feeling by the time the 3rd season comes out, it'll be, probably another couple years away, 1.5 years. Maybe we'll have some more info on a new Fallout, and they can kind of tie it all together. If I was Bethesda and the TV studios, I would definitely be trying to get something out about the game and tying it all together just to keep that hype going. As for Fallout 76, it's just plugging away. Again, this is a game where I feel they could have done so much more with. Now, when Fallout 76 came out, I played it. I enjoyed it. It was a Fallout experience. What I really hated was there's like no NPCs. There's no humans. You're just kind of out there messing around with mutant creatures and stuff. And it was really boring in that aspect. I think if they had have put NPCs in it from the beginning and made it like a proper fleshed out Fallout game, this game would have been a smash hit. That's just my opinion. They did this, they made it, and I think they did this is because the engine has its limitations. They weren't familiar with doing an online multiplayer game. As Todd said, it just works, but again, buggy as hell. But I believe that's why it was so stripped down, and they've been continually adding things. I've not played this in a long time. I definitely am going to go back and check it out, and I'll give you guys an update on my user experience. I don't even know what level I am. I think I'm in the 60s or something. But again, I quit playing it because it just got bored. I did everything, and the only thing left to do was go do the events and stuff, and even that gets boring. If they flesh this out, still could be good, still could be worth going back and looking out. As for Starfield, guys, again, they will try to support this. How long? I don't know. They say big things are coming up, but insiders have said don't expect a lot. Again, I have a feeling this will be like 76. They'll just drip some content in it. They won't put anything huge in it or anything like that. They'll just try to keep the game going, make some money off it, and that'll be that. Again, I think Starfield really could be something great, but for it to be great, the mod community is going to have to take over and run with the ball here. I don't think Bethesda will put forth the resources to fill up the planets and make space travel much easier and just make the story more compelling. To me, Bethesda could have a blank canvas with Starfield. There's so many planets with basically nothing on them. You could literally do a DLC, paid DLC for very cheap, and kind of fill out a planet with some interesting locations and stuff. That's what I would do. I don't know if it monetarily would make sense, but again, I'm not running the show at Bethesda and Microsoft. They have their own ideas and what they want to do with the game. If I was Bethesda, I'd be filling those planets up, make the game fleshed out, and I think it would be really interesting. As for Todd and the old crew at Bethesda, most of the things they do sell well, guys. Don't kid yourself. They're not hurting. None of their games have bombed. So I think they have kind of settled in this place of mediocrity. I don't think that's going to change much with the Elder Scrolls coming out and the next Fallout experience. Will they be games I'm going to play? Yeah, absolutely. I'll play them. And again, they could totally prove me wrong. You just never know when these studios pull something out of their ass. Again, Bethesda's strong suit has never been writing and storytelling. It's almost always been the world's interesting side quests and stuff. They get back to that, I think the games will be okay. All we really want as fans is to find out what the hell's going on with the Elder Scrolls and the new Fallout games, where they're going to be. There's been some leaks about it, but no one really knows. And again, for Todd and Emil, they've been talking to media outlets and doing interviews so long. I just don't like their conceited, cocky attitudes anymore. And yes, they're at the top of the heap. I get it. But still, throw your fans a bone here, guys. And I would say Bethesda fans are some of the most loyal fans on the planet. They will support them regardless. The least you can do is pay it forward and be a little bit more pleasant in the interviews. You know, maybe in an ideal world, Daddy Spencer comes down and says, hey, get this shit out. And has a little say in what goes on. I really doubt that. He seems very hands-off with most of these studios. I was really hoping when Microsoft acquired a lot of these studios that Phil and them would be a little bit more involved and kind of go back to the roots. Totally not what happened here, guys. They're kind of just going with the status quo. So we'll see how it goes. I'm still looking forward to these games, and they are probably the most anticipated games for me coming up. You let me know what games you're looking forward to and what you think's going to happen at Bethesda down the road here, guys. As always, please like, comment, subscribe. I really appreciate you guys sticking around. Got a whole bunch of stuff going on today. I will see you in the next one. Peace.